Hello, John here from Originality.AI. We've just released version 1.4, massive leap forward in AI detection capabilities. But I want to talk in this video specifically about false positives. We can see here the leap that our tool has created in terms of true AI detection capabilities. Um, we have a false positive rate of sort of 2.5 on tested. So we know false positives happen. They happen less than some of the competitors that exist out there. But I want to sort of talk about what false positives are, how they happen, and some of the sort of how to think about the score, and that's sort of causing some confusion out there. And also run a live test on how effective the new tool is at some of the most common tricks to try and trick the tool. All right, so we're going to look at false positive discussion. Specifically, like first, we know false positives exist. There's every tool that is doing AI detection should be transparent about the fact that their tool is not 100% accurate. There are false positives that occur. When we've tested across, hundreds of thousands of samples, million trained on millions of data, samples of data, our false positives comes in at around 2.5%. We understand the frustration, the pain that a false positive when you write your content and then a tool, 2.5% of the time at least, or less than, depending on the person. Um, it's incredibly frustrating. We get that. Um, we've provided a free Chrome extension that's shown in this image here, that in this GIF that allows people to view the writing. And so it really creates this sort of opportunity, and that tool is free. If you're writing a Google Chrome document, you can sort of you can share the link so that people can view your writing, and they can have sort of absolute confidence that, I truly wrote this piece of content. Let me just move this out of the way so I can talk about. So what is a false positive? So this matrix here is called a confusion matrix, and when you're running a sample to say how accurate is this prediction model, um, it can say either it was correct at detecting AI, so that's a true positive. So yep, we think it's AI, and then we look at the back of the card, sort of so to speak, and it's like, oh, yep, turns out answer was correct. False positive is when the AI detector, so when Originality says we think this is AI, and then it looks at the back of the card and says, no, actually that was a human article. So this is on GPT-4 content where we had 99.37% accurate at detecting AI. And then when we were also running that test, we ran the sample on human, and we had a 1.56% incorrectly identified human content as AI generated. So like I said, we know it exists, we hate it, we wish it didn't happen, and we are working as hard as we possibly can to get better. Um, couple things to note. The AI detection score. So if it's 40% AI, 60% original, that means that our AI is 60% confident that that article was written by a human. And it doesn't mean that we think 40% of that article that you wrote was actually written by AI. So it's the overall confidence score of that article that you've submitted. Um, what we're seeing is that people who get flagged once for with a false positive have a higher probability of getting flagged multiple times. And so that comes down to their writing style being similar to what the tool has determined across millions of samples to look like AI writing. Um, so again, understand the frustration with that. Free Google Chrome extension to try and help solve that for people that are getting tagged with false positives. And then here's just a test that we did across again the 1,200 samples, looking at 600 of them were AI, 600 of them were known human, across a bunch of competitor tools. So Originality, OpenAI's text classifier, GPT-0, CopyLeaks, and Writer. And our level of accuracy was significantly higher than the competition, and false positives lower than the next two closest at detecting AI. So yeah, kudos to the team, the development team at Originality. Yeah, pretty impressive leap that they've achieved. Um, so, there's a lot of questions come up around false positives. What are we to do? Um, I think there's a few truths that we can all understand. Generative AI is going to get better. AI detection will always have false positives. And then so what can we do? We can, put our head in the sand and pretend like AI doesn't exist, accept using AI and ignore AI detection. That's a totally fine option. I'm doing that on some of my sites where I'm publishing, I think ethically produced AI content where we fact checked it. Some of the sites I don't want AI touching those sites, and that's where I rely on AI detection. Um, so use AI detection as a step in the process of evaluating the usefulness and originality of the piece of content. So, AI detection scores alone aren't everything, but I think it's a piece of that process. Um, so kind of further to that, reducing false positives is the number one priority for our tech team right now. The team is working extremely hard on addressing that. But let's sort of run a live test on this. So let me make this a little smaller so we get it out of the way. All right. So we're going to test with Originality. We're going to run a series of scans. So we can pick kind of any article here from VentureBeat. And then I'm just going to copy in some content. Let's do it in multiple steps here just to avoid the ads. And then we'll see how it does. When you're running your own test, this is a embarrassingly small sample size that we're going to run this test on. But yeah, so just be aware whenever you're running your own test, the more the better. All right, so that called it 100% original, so that one got it correct. So news article 1, correct. Let's go back to VentureBeat and pick a different one. So these are, I guess we're assuming that these are human written articles, which I think is probably a safe bet with VentureBeat at this stage. It's not BuzzFeed. So we'll paste a bunch of samples in here, or a bunch of parts of this article. All right, again, 100% original, so predicted that correctly. Gutenberg. So Gutenberg is a giant library of sort of all books that have existed and gone to the commons. Let's pick. Let me see if I can sort of do it in a way that makes it look super random. Um, so I'm just gonna pick random. All right, I just picked. I'm not even sure kind of what this book is about that we just picked, but let's assume it's human written because these are all pretty old books, and let's see how it does. All right, 86% original, so again got that correct. And let me see if I can do another sort of random selection here. Similar books. Readers also downloaded. Let's pick one. It's not too crazy old. Give us any dates on them? Sure. All right, let's check this article or this book. Okay, so that again called it 100% original. All right, and then the last spot that we can test from is the blogger corpus. So this is a massive data set of blogger content from predating AI. So I'm just going to scroll down until, yeah, perfect. I find one that's got a ton of content in it. So the AI detection tool is accurate on 100 plus words. So this is 2000 content from 2003, so 100% original. This one. And let's pick again. I'm just trying to scroll around to make it as clear that I'm doing this as randomly as possible, even though this is way too small a test. And now I'm just clicking to try and find one that is of sufficient size. 194 words. That's kind of minimum size, but okay, perfect. Got that correct. So, this test, again, too small, but 6 articles shows that it got it correct each of those 6 times, from 2 news articles, 2 Gutenbergs, to Blogger. And then let's go and run a test on the AI detection. So let's not make it easy. Let's use some suggested prompts that make it hard for AI to be identified. So write an article about X in the style of Gary. So I got these from Trick Me or Not on suggestions on how to avoid AI detection. So I don't want to just kind of give it just straight up vanilla content. Let's make it a little challenging. Let's also get a random topic generator to make it as random a test as possible. Topics for anyone, sure. Generate random topic. Click it a few times, cool. So we're going to write a topic on now I will pause this, but not move, so you'll see just while it's writing. Let me let it write a little bit, and then I'll just pause it and then restart once it's done writing to keep the video a little shorter. All right, looks like it's getting a little closer to being done. And again, I'll do my best to sort of keep the integrity of this test going with it being live while I'm doing this. All right, as much fun as it is to watch ChatGPT write, I'll grab it after this paragraph. Okay. All right. So new scan. So this is AI generated content. Let's see. Okay, perfect. Nailed it perfectly. All right. Let's try the next. So we want it to now rewrite that article in an active voice, and that's the sort of recommendation on how to trick it. All right. Again, I'll let it. Now I know when it will be ending, so I'll pause it when we get closer to the end there to not have you guys watch ChatGPT. All right, so it's almost done writing. Not sure it would change much. Anyway, apparently active voice is one way to try and trick it. So new scan. 100%. So went actually backwards. Okay, so that one's done. All right, let's try this strategy. So write an article on topic in a human-like style, simple English, using contradictions, idioms, transitional phrases, injections, dangling modifiers, colloquialisms, and avoiding repetitive phrases and unnatural sentence structures. Okay, that sounds tricky. Let's see what it does. New chat. We'll use GPT-4. Let's insert a random topic, do like classical music. All right, I'll pause and then scan again in a minute. All right, hopefully I didn't unpause it too soon, but here it is still writing. Finally, so it looks like it's wrapping it up. All right, done. So this was the scan that had to write an article on this extremely complex prompt. All in that prompt's intent was to a difficult prompt using GPT-4 to try and trick AI detection. Didn't work. All right. Um, it's weird, but I kind of am secretly hoping that like I want to find something that does trick the tool, so then we can go and improve the tool. So let's go Quillbot paraphrase. So let's use this the article that we wrote, like strategy 1 plus strategy 2 plus strategy 4. Let's see what we get to with that. Um, so one of the most common ways to beat any other AI detector is to use a paraphrasing tool like Quillbot and get it all paraphrased and then run that through the AI detector. So this would trick, I'm pretty sure, every other AI detection tool on the market. Not sure if I copied it all. I wasn't sure if I, yeah, okay, it copied. All right, let's scan it. So this is now in three layers, still getting nailed 100% of the time. All right, I'm gonna make it do some ridiculousness here because we're gonna beat originality. So let's see if we can finally just throw absolute ridiculousness to the wind here. And misspelled words, add emojis, and white spaces and underscores. Emojis, misspellings, random spaces, and formatting. Anything else? White spaces and spaces and underscores. So, so this doesn't beat it. Um, I mean, I think it'll have to. I honestly, I don't know. Um, Kind of pointless because it's just who when's this whatever purpose will this serve. But anyway, it'd be fun to sort of find the limits here. So I'm going to pause this and then you'll see it here. All right, so I think it's almost done. So again, just to sort of recap, this was write an article in this style, which is meant to try and trick AI, and then rewrite it using the active voice, which you did, and then Quillbot to paraphrase it, and then this absolute insanity of misspelled words, random characters, and emojis, and this is the chaos that we get. So, uh, kind of a pointless last experiment here because this has kind of no utility. Like no one's ever going to actually use this. But let's see. Hopefully, I mean, it has to trick it, right? I don't know. It didn't. Kind of confuses me. Anyways, so I got it right, even with all of that insanity in there. So, um, again, this is a extremely small test, but this was 6 human articles getting it 100% of the time right, and this was 6 AI generated articles created in a way that would be as difficult to detect as possible, um, and it got it all right. So, very impressive results right now that's flowing out of GPT one or their Originality.AI 1.4 on GPT-4 generated content, GPT 3.5, ChatGPT, all extremely impressive right now. You know, all that to say, we understand that false positives are occurring. We know that there's sort of a 2.5% rate of false positives. If you have a false positive, you end up more likely to have more false positives. Um, it can be very frustrating, and it's our number one priority to try and reduce that, even though currently we have the lowest in the industry and the highest detection rate as well. And then we have the free Chrome extension. If you're a writer that is having challenges with false positives, we have the free Chrome extension to allow you to be able to prove without a shadow of a doubt that your content was human generated. So anyway, that's kind of the lay of land right now with where we're sitting with Originality.AI, how well it's performing, and the strategies to sort of understand and manage false positives. All right, hope this was helpful.